Let's take a look at Brett Veach's moves he made from last season and what he will be doing this season and kind of see how he did. But first, how about those? Hey, if you're watching this and are as big of a Chiefs fan as I am, hit the subscribe button and turn notifications on so that you can stay in the know with daily news about our favorite team. All right, Brett Veach, the man himself. Veach actually worked with Andy Reid and the Eagles since 2004 and followed Andy to Kansas City when he was hired as a head coach in 2013. He was promoted to general manager in 2017 after the firing of John Dorsey. Since then, the Chiefs have won 5 AFC West championships, 2 AFC championships, and a Super Bowl. So let's look at some of his moves on offense and defense over the past season and see how he's done. Let's first talk offense. Last year, Veach made what we knew had to be a tough decision in letting both Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz go after the Super Bowl loss last year. Both were injured, Fisher with an Achilles injury and Mitchell Schwartz was struggling with a back injury that did not seem to be getting much better. He actually went out with this injury after week 6 and never returned. Anyway, after releasing them, he signed Joe Thuney to a 5-year, $80 million deal on the first day of free agency. Thuney is a baller. He started every game and even played with a broken hand for a few weeks or so. That's wild. Veach signed Austin Blythe and brought Kyle Long back from retirement on a 1-year deal as well. Long was injured in training camp and never saw many snaps in the regular season, and Austin Blythe didn't make too much noise either. A few days before the draft, Brett Veach traded for Orlando Brown Jr. from the Baltimore Ravens in exchange for Kansas City's first-round pick, third-round pick, one of their fourth-round picks, and their fifth-round pick. That's a monster of a trade. Brown only missed 1 game this season in which he strained his calf during pregame warmups in the regular season. In the draft, the Chiefs selected Oklahoma offensive lineman Creed Humphrey and Tennessee's O-lineman Trey Smith. Humphrey started at center. He had an incredible season, and honestly, we love Creed because Creed is good. Smith was selected much later in the draft, the 6th round, because of medical concerns, but after Kyle Long's injury, he very quickly got his opportunity to start and remain a starter from that point forward. Both him and Creed, they ended up being Pro Bowl selections as alternates and really did an amazing job for the Chiefs O-line this year. I am super happy about both of them, to be honest. One other thing Veach did was bring back Andrew Wiley. To some, that was a questionable move because he played pretty poorly at right tackle in the Chiefs' Super Bowl loss. I know some wanted to see him move on, but it proved to be a good move this year. Specifically, after both Mike Rimmers and Lucas Niang's injuries, Wiley was back at right tackle for 13 games, starting 7 of them, and honestly did pretty well. There were some times where Mahomes would just step up into the pocket and slightly slide out right and do his thing, create some Mahomes magic. So maybe right tackle was the weak spot of the O-line, but I still feel Wiley did pretty well. Do you agree with that assessment? O-line was phenomenal. With all that being said, yeah, those were the main offensive moves. The O-line was basically completely revamped, and it's worth noting that 4 of the 5 starters were recognized for the Pro Bowl, which is awesome. We were certainly in a much better place as far as the offensive line was concerned this postseason compared to last year's postseason. All right, let's talk defense. But first, if you're enjoying this video, can you do me a favor and hit that like button so more Chiefs fans can find this content? It does help push it out into the YouTube algorithm. Okay, after Veach prioritized the offense for the most part in free agency, we know he had his work cut out for him on the defense. They were ranked 22nd in the NFL in 2020 after all. First move was drafting linebacker Nick Bolton from MU in the 2nd round. This obviously proved to be an amazing selection because, as we all know, he ended up leading the team in tackles and tackles for loss and winning this year's Mac Lee Hill Rookie of the Year award. Joshua Kando was selected in the 4th round, but was injured in week 4 and didn't see much playing time after that. With the new D-line coach Joe Cullen in town, we will have to see how things end up playing out for Kando. Will he start? I have no idea. After that, Veach traded for Mike Hughes, a former first-round pick, and signed Jaron Reed to a 1-year deal. Mike Hughes' season was a bit all over the place to me. He did earn the starting role, but then was later replaced by Rashad Fenton, whom I was much more happy with. Hughes started again when Fenton was injured, but just wasn't consistent. If you remember the Steelers game, but specifically the Bills game, he was scorched. He was burned pretty badly, got his ankles snapped, and he fell over on a play. Didn't really get injured, but he fell over, and it was very hard to watch. Jarran Reed played in every game this year for the Chiefs, but didn't do too much damage, just a few cleanup sacks. We all know that the most impactful thing Veach did for the defense was trade for Melvin Ingram. We picked him up in, I think, week 9 of last season for a 6th round pick. Ingram sparked the turnaround of the defense for the second half of the season, and I did recently do a more detailed video on Ingram and all of that if you'd like to watch it. I don't think Hughes will be staying next season, or at least won't be a starter for sure, and I think the same for Frank Clark and Jarran Reed. With all that being said, what are your thoughts on Brett Veach's moves this past season? Which was your favorite pickup? Which was your least favorite pickup? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to read your thoughts. It's hard to hate on really anything he did with the O-line. My favorite pickup may have been Creed Humphrey. I keep showing this shirt like I get kickback from it. I just found it online from breakingtea.com, I think through Arrowhead Addict. Loved the shirt and had to get it. But my favorite was probably Creed. He did amazing. But really the O-line as a whole did amazing. So it's kind of hard to pick just one. My least favorite pickup, I don't know. That's tough. Maybe Jarran Reed. I mean, our D-line was not as productive as it should have been on paper, and it really hurt us in the end. When considering especially like what we paid Jarran Reed for 1 year, I was like, man, that was tough. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more content like this. I post daily news about the Chiefs, and we'll be doing news like this all year long. So until next time, Chiefs Kingdom, let's go. How about those?